Welcome back. I'm really excited for the recipe that I have to show you today. It is black bean tacos, and it is 100% vegetarian, high protein option for a lunch or a dinner. And I think a lot of times when we think about protein, we often think, meat, chicken, fish, eggs. We don't think about those high protein foods that are plant-based foods. So hopefully this will kind of give you some new inspiration and ideas for something that you could do that's a plant-based protein option as well, because variety in all things is the goal here. So with our black bean tacos, we have a few ingredients that we'll be highlighting today. One is obviously black beans. Another is our high protein tortillas, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Some cabbage, and then some different spices and seasonings. So we will head over to our stove and start working on our black bean portion of the tacos. So the first thing you'll want to do is prepare your beans. So you'll have 2 cans of beans or 3 cups of beans that you've cooked at home. One can you'll still have the juices in it, and the other can you'll want to drain in the sink. So I have my drained beans, and then I have my beans with the liquid still in it. So then I'm going to move over to my stove. I've heated up about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, just starting on high heat to get it heated up and then turning it down to about medium to high. And then I'll put my 2 cloves of garlic in there. Got all that yummy garlic in there. A teaspoon of cumin. And a teaspoon of salt. And just cook that up for just no more than a minute or so to get it kind of smelling good and get your garlic roasted a little bit. So next you're going to add your can of beans that still has the liquid in it. And you'll give that a stir. And while that's heating up a little bit, you'll take your bowl of beans that has been drained and take a potato masher or a spoon and just mash it up pretty good. It just kind of depends how chunky or creamy you like your beans. You can mash them up completely to a pulp, or you can kind of mash them so there's still some whole beans in there. It kind of looks like that. It's kind of like you're making refried beans, but with black beans. So once you have your black beans all mashed like that, put your masher to the side. You're just going to dump it in with the rest of your beans that are heating up on the stove. It's already starting to smell good. So you're just going to stir that up and let it sit in there until it starts to simmer, and just kind of lets it blend in all of the flavors. And you'll do that for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. You'll turn it to low, and then you'll cover it so it just kind of stews in there. And while we have that cooking on the stove, we can go ahead and make our crema that goes on the top of our tacos. So we're gonna come over here while our beans are stewing for about 3 to 5 minutes and make our crema that goes on top of our tacos. So it starts out with half a cup of our non-fat Greek yogurt. I use the Phage brand. You can use whatever brand that you like. And I just put it in a bowl here. And then in that bowl, I'm just going to mix up a little bit of lime juice. I'm going to just cut my lime up into quarters and squeeze a little bit of lime juice in there. Give it a little kick. You want about a tablespoon, 1 to 2 tablespoons of lime juice, depending on how strong you like the flavor. So I'll do most of this lime here. Just squeeze it right on in. And then you'll mix that up. And then there's a couple options. You can leave it like that. You can add a little bit of salt to give it a little bit more flavor, which I think I'm gonna do. And if you like it spicy, you can add some hot sauce, or what I'm going to add is ground chipotle chili pepper, which is about a teaspoon, and I'm just going to dump that in there. And mix it up. Now you kind of want your crema to be a little bit more liquidy versus not so much, because it's going to be spread on the top of your tacos. So if it's not quite liquidy enough, you can always just add a little teaspoon or so of water, which I think I'm going to do. And it kind of turns into more of a easier to spoon out versus the heavy consistency of Greek yogurt. So my crema is ready to go. So the next and last step will be bringing my black bean filling over here and filling up our tacos. So I'm going to come over here and grab my black bean filling. Move some of this out of the way here. So you can see how there's some whole beans in there, and also it's kind of got that creamy consistency. How we had one can of beans that we didn't mash and we mashed the other. So that's kind of how it looks. You're welcome to mash them all if you like it that way, however you like it. I do like some whole beans in mine for texture. Now the next step, taking our tortillas, and you can take a skillet and warm them up in a skillet, or just throw them in the microwave and warm them up. So that's going to be your first step. Once your tortilla is warm, just set it out on your plate. Add about 1/2 to 2/3 of a cup of your filling mixture. Just enough to fill your tortilla. And then what I have here is just some shredded green cabbage. You can use shredded green or shredded red cabbage, or you can use both. And I'll just sprinkle some of that on the top of my taco. Then what I have here is a little cotija cheese. You can use whatever cheese you prefer, but this sure makes it look pretty. A little bit of cilantro, just a pinch of chopped cilantro. And then last but not least, our crema that we made with our Greek yogurt. You'll just kind of drizzle that over the top of your taco. And there is your black bean taco. So you can go ahead and just roll it up and eat it like that. But for a minute, I want to talk about these tortilla shells. Now these just aren't any kind of tortilla shells. These are plant pea protein tortilla shells. So in one tortilla shell, you are getting 7 grams of protein versus a regular tortilla shell where you're probably getting very minimal, 0 to maybe 1 gram of protein. So not only are you getting protein from your beans, which you're getting about 8 grams of protein per half cup of black beans, you're also getting 7 grams of protein from your tortilla shell. The total carbohydrate of an entire tortilla shell is 15 grams, but the total dietary fiber is 12 grams. So if you know what net carbs are, the total amount of carbs that your body absorbs, it's actually only 3 grams of carbohydrates. because you subtract the total fiber from the total carbohydrates. That's only 3 grams, 15 minus 12. So, you know, one, I have a pretty low carbohydrate tortilla. It's high in protein, it tastes good, and I'm also getting some protein from my beans as well. So it's a plant protein packed meal just in that one taco. So I hope you enjoy the tacos. If you have questions about the recipe, you can go ahead and click on the link below and that will take you straight to the recipe. And I'd like to hear how you like it. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Whole Simple Protein. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you tried the recipes, please go ahead and comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about them. And we'll see you on the next one.